Hello, I'm Emma Hartnell-Baker, and as you'll know, I'm a great promoter of Jolly Phonics, as well as a lot of other really good synthetic-based phonics programs that teach the alphabetic codes systematically and explicitly. What you need to do is really understand the skills that children need to have to be able to read and spell, and then you can use any product, any program, any resources to meet the needs of all the children. One of the things that I need you to really understand is that to help every child, we need to help every child, first of all, be able to hear the smaller parts in words. That's developing phonological awareness, phonemic awareness in particular. This, if we're able to do that, so they can hear in the word sat, that there are 3 smaller parts, and that the sounds they can hear are s, at, then it's easy for them to understand, right, well, here are the pictures to represent them, here are the sound pics. Now, when we start with print, we can confuse some children. We can confuse a lot of children. They can seem to be understanding what we want them to understand, but actually their brains aren't processing the information in the way we want them to. For example, think about the Jolly Phonics songs and actions. What we want children to do is hear the speech sound, for example, s. But we want them right from the beginning to understand that there are lots of pictures, there are actually 8 pictures, to represent that speech sound. So it's not just this one. What we do is we tell children, this is the first one we're going to look at. So this is the first picture we're going to learn that represents the speech sound s. But there are actually another 7 of them. So ideally, we want a system where we're helping children hear the s and then do an action for the s, but knowing it's the action and the hearing that's important. It's not always going to be that S sound pick. So that's the bit where I just kind of need you to understand, and that's what we're looking at the moment as to how to make sure that we're really using appropriate resources that make sense and don't cause problems down the line. And we have a visual representation from the very beginning to show all of the speech sounds in the English language and how they're represented. And the way that we do it is very early years friendly, so it's created to be fun and visual and whatever, but to meet the needs of brains in the early years. So if I'm using the Jolly Phonics songs and actions, what I would do is start off with the phonological awareness and not show them the visual, not show them these pictures, not show them the songs on the screen. We're just listening for the speech sounds, singing the song and doing the actions. And what we're doing is we're saying that when they're weaving their hands for this action, what we're doing is we're linking that with the speech sound s. So that when we actually look at it, we're saying, look, and this is just one of the pictures, but there are, as I say, there are a lot of them. So that then when children look at the k with castanets, what we're doing is we're actually starting with the speech sound k and saying, here's one of the pictures for the k. Because then the children aren't confused. But then if they look at a word like, for example, you know, I spent 50 cents. Well, think of that word cents, C-E-N-T-S. When they look at that C, you've told them that this is the k sound, Kents, and it's not. So the speech sound depicts approach uses as many resources and whatever as you want, but we modify them to make sure we really are giving the right message. Some children are fine. They'll get it, they understand it, whatever. But there's at least 35% of all children that enter prep that won't, and we need to be really specific.
Show me the actions.
Bring your bat and bring your ball. Bring your bat and bring your ball to the marketplace. All around we are clicking castanets. We are clicking castanets. We are clicking castanets. Clicking castanets. We are clicking castanets. This is my favorite one. Play on my drum.
Playing drums is lots of fun with a see me play upon my drum.
Who knows what this word is? Are you watching? Here we go. Is he right?
Yeah.
Good job. Next word. What's your guys say?
Look at me. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, good luck. Oh, thank you, Annie. That's gorgeous.
Is he right? How about? Is that the word? Yes, it was. It was. Why? What did you think it was, Oscar? What was cat? Would I have done that?
No,
For
you
our
did.
last sound, or would I have done this for our last sound? Here's another one. Here we go. Start. Mitchell.
Mum.
And do you think you know this? Lute.
Dad.
How about this? Are we ready? Reverend? Sally.
Yes. Yes.
This word. Not six. What was our first sound? What was the word there? Not zip, but okay, stop. Let me hear Dan say.
Zip.
Zip. That's right. Okay, last word.
Zipping.
Oh,
Zip. I don't know that. Zip.
Sam.
Fix.
Well done. Good job. Hands down. Yes, Mitchell.
When you've never done someone's name in the class.
Do you think Mitchell could do his own?
I can do mine. I can do mine.
Mitchell, go up to the front and see.
Let's see.
I could do my name.
Says Mitchell could do his name. Oh, his whole name.
All right, here we go.
E. What's her? What is her? Wow! But what did Mitchell have to do there? So Mitchell had to do the actions for the letters. Lute had to do the actions for the letters, but when we're listening for his name, we really wanted to sound an action for the ch sound, don't we? So that instead of having to do the t and the k and the h, because when you put the t and the k and the h together, it makes a new sound, ch, doesn't it?
So we
need lots more actions. We'll have to think about that over the holidays.
action for ch.
We need an action for all the sounds, don't we?
We do. So we need to work on that.
Yes, definitely.
I have a feeling that.
But that was
Dan
wonderful.
can hear.
Can Dan do it?
I
Thanks, Mitchell. That was fantastic.
If we do your just Dan. Yes, you can. Come on, let's have a think. Our first sound is do. What instrument do we play?
And mine. Drum.
Okay, on you go. Do the first one.
I did it. I feel sick.
Wow,
How
Dan.
about Evan?
All
right, you
yes.
Let's see Evan.
Can I be after Oscar?
No, we'll have a turn in a minute. Okay, let's see. His name is?
That's fantastic.
So one of the resources we're busy creating is are some songs and actions to represent every single speech sound in the English language, not to represent a specific letter. But we need to work out, starting from the speech sound, so that when children are actually spelling, instead of having to work out those individual the individual letters and the actions for those individual letters, that takes us away from what we want children to do. We want children to hear the smaller parts in words and to know the sound picks that represent them. So in Mitchell, he needs to listen for ch, all, that's 5 sound picks, so he needs 5 actions, and this is what will really help the reading and spelling brain, and especially the children who are at risk and the children who will struggle in the current education system. So here we can see the 2 pictures that represent that ch speech sound. This is the ch speech sound cloud, and the same as with Mitchell at the end. He doesn't need to do 2 L's because the 2 L's don't make 2 different speech sounds. When we're saying Mitchell, we're not saying Mitchell or, we're saying Mitchell, so that's just 1 sound at the end. And this shows the speech sound cloud for the all. Now this kind of thing is why so many teachers come a cropper when teaching phonics, because it seems to make sense at the beginning when we just got single sounds like s, at, sat. Seems to make sense, and then what happens when it's, oh well, actually that letter represents a different sound, or actually those 2 can you know, ow and o, like in ow and b-o, it's the same sound pick and what have you. So teachers get confused, let alone the children. Well, we actually do confuse the children inadvertently. So SSP is about making it easy for not only the children but also the teachers to be able to teach it effectively from the start. So here, for example, this might be a song that we might introduce with the s speech sound. So we might have started off listening for s in words, and it can be any kind of s you want. We might create a s speech sound table for children, bring things in, whatever. So right from the beginning we're teaching children that when we hear that s in words, there's a picture that represents it, and look, in the speech sound cloud you can see that there are actually 8. So we might have something like excuse this, I've just done this afternoon, but you know, psychotic Sam had a nasty scent, sitting in the grass with a nasty scent, send him something nice for 50 cents, send him to the house or the castle. So in there we've got every single representation for this speech sound. So from the beginning, instead of showing them 1, which is that S, and then it becomes difficult when it's, you know, we've got the English language, what we're doing right from the beginning is showing them it like this. So we're showing them all the representations, and then we'll say to them, right, so the one we're going to start off with, the one we're going to really look at is this one, and then you point to that one that you might have seen with, you know, with the snake, so with just that single S. But the children are understanding the concepts very early on, and it's very easy and simple to understand, especially for teachers. So thinking again about Mitchell, you know, here's the, when he's listening for it, ch, all, here's the last sound, the last speech sound in his name, and he finds the sound pick that represents it when he's actually got to do it in the print. But to start off with, it's not the print that matters. To start off with, it's hearing those sounds and knowing the action to represent it, to represent that speech sound, not a letter, because otherwise it gets confusing. So anyways, for more information, or please do book PD training or what have you. I'm supporting a lot of schools next year in 2013. Hopefully we can create together collaboratively, you know, we can share ideas and what have you, but all with a common goal of making this as simple as possible for children, for preventing difficulties in the first place, for getting every child reading by 6, and for making sure that we know what every single child is doing with all the different skills and how they're progressing. This approach is ideal for any child who has or has a risk of having special needs. If you're very musical and want to create a song, go to the speech sound clouds in photos on the Facebook page. Go to this, choose one of them, and see if you can think of a simple song that will have all of the speech sounds in it, and send it to me. And obviously, I'll make sure that when we publish things, we give you credit. But again, as I say, I just want everyone to share ideas and work together on this. So please, if you want to choose a speech sound cloud, you could even do it with your children in school. Okay, so join me on Facebook, facebook.com/Read Australia, and thanks for watching.